Do I think a shooting could happen at Waukee? Yeah. There's so many students, and there's no way that people actually check these students. I know that when I went to Waukee, there were plenty of people that brought weapons to school. Nobody knew.
I don't think a shooting could happen here at Waukee, but I do feel like it's good to be prepared.
At Waukee, I absolutely believe so because I was talking to Mr. Briggs about this subject, and he actually told me that Cameron was concerned during the walkout because Waukee is like the same demographic as the Parkland shooting in Florida. So yeah, I absolutely believe it can happen here, and that's a scary perspective every day. So.
Unfortunately, I do think that there's a possibility that could happen at any school, even Valley High School, especially because it's so big and like in the morning and afternoons the doors are unlocked, so essentially like anyone could get into the school if they really wanted to.
Absolutely. I think it would be unrealistic and naive to think that something like that couldn't happen here, especially since I think that's the mentality. I think the overall misconception that not my school, we're safe. So by thinking that it can't happen here, I think that leads for people being unsafe, and we're not really understanding what to do about that.
Yeah, I would say pretty much any school, especially one that's as big as Valley, there could be a shooting that could happen just because it's so big and there's so many different people there and there's so many like doors that you can get into. Even the ones that have a security guard, it's possible to get into, and then there are ones that like don't have any guards or cameras, I don't think. So anyway, yeah, I would say it could happen.
This year I am directing a freshman Readers Theater. This Readers Theater has a selected script called Lockdown. This script is about a bunch of students and a teacher, and they are in the middle of a lockdown, and the students are trying to figure out, is it safer for us to leave the classroom and make a run for it, or is it safer for us to just stay put and take our luck? And what you're about to see, you're going to see two of our freshman students that are actually involved in the script and their thoughts and feelings about events like this and how working through this process has changed this.
So our Readers Theater is about a lockdown that happens in like this fictional place, but I feel it exemplifies like real life and what would happen, because there's some people in the room that get along and there's some people that don't, and they have to like figure out how to work together and make things happen.
And their teacher was at first controlling the situation, keeping them controlled, but she had left because another student ran and she followed her. And they have no idea what's going on. They don't know if they're catching whoever's inside the school or is a threat to the school, and so they're kind of teaming together and to help each other get through the rough time that they're going through. So I feel like I relate to my character personally, because I feel if this had gone on like in our school, that I would try to help people, but I'd also trying to calm myself down and try to tell myself that I am going to get out of here and I'm going to be safe.
Yeah, and I agree with Lainey on that. I wouldn't say I'm like my character because my character doesn't get along with anybody in the room except her like boyfriend, and so I'm like rude to everybody and I'm just freaking out the whole time. But I feel I'd be much more like her character in the sense that I'm trying to stay calm, but I'm also trying to help others in the situation.
I feel like it's opened my eyes because I have read about it, I have seen about it, in the news and I've read some stuff, but I've never really had any first-hand accounts of what's happened. And the script itself isn't a first-hand account, but I feel like it has opened my eyes to show that this really can happen. It's not just something that you see in the news.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that statement.
I mean, that's tough to ask because we don't ever actually do a drill for shooting. So obviously in regard to how prepared I feel personally, I think our school would be in havoc. Like, we'd have absolutely no idea how to do that, and a drill would be a extremely good idea, but our administration needs to put their heads together to do that. So.
Not at all. We had 3 bomb threats in a week. My senior year, we went to the very same location every time. I think that's horrible. There was no preparation whatsoever. We can do lockdowns and all that, that's fine. I don't think the teachers actually know what to do if a shooter actually happens. Locking a room is one thing. Having teachers that are prepared is another.
I feel a little bit prepared, but not totally prepared. I know that the teachers go through training and like steps in order to ensure our safety, but they're not necessarily communicated with us all the time, so that makes me feel a little less prepared than I would like to.
I feel like we're trying and we're making the steps to get better at being safe and at like preparing for something like this to happen, but we just don't understand how we're going to react in a moment like that, like at a school shooting, if something were to happen here, or any terrible event were to happen here. We do fire drills and tornado drills, but we've never had a real fire in the building. We've never had a real tornado that we've had to truly get to see how we would react with the school shooting. We can sit here and say like, oh yeah, I'll lock all my doors and we'll fight and we'll run and stuff like that. But when you're truly scared and it's truly happening, I'm not quite sure that there's anything that we can do. No mock trial, no practice, no drill that would truly ever prepare us for something like that.
I feel like the teachers are pretty prepared, but I wouldn't know the exact protocol. I know there's like an ELF procedure, but I wouldn't know exactly what that would entail. But I mean, I'm guessing you'd kind of get the gist of what you're doing pretty quickly, so like that doesn't concern me too much.
I feel very prepared. The SRO and administration has really done a good job of scheduling some time for safety training, and especially with the new Run, Hide, Fight kind of initiative.
I think I feel as safe as I can probably be. I won't lie, since we started doing the trainings, or since I had to do them at Iowa State before I graduated to start teaching here, when I hear students yelling in the hallway, it triggers a sort of kind of like fear that something might be going on. When I'm walking down the hallway and I see a lot of students just like running towards an area, that triggers me sometimes too. So to a certain extent, I do feel safe, but since we started doing the trainings, I feel a little bit more nervous, I guess. Like, not unsafe, just nervous.
Yeah, Yes, I do feel safe at Valley High School because I know we have a designated police officer who's on our campus 100% of the time, and we have several security guards who are guarding the doors during the day. Unfortunately, there's no like 100% safety all the time, but I would say that we have a very safe building, and I feel super safe.
No, I didn't feel safe ever. There were so many things that could have happened. No, I don't feel safe.
Yeah, definitely. Even though there's a possibility of a shooting, I don't think that's something you can really worry about too much, and there haven't really been any issues as far as that, or like a lot of violence or anything. So yeah, I would say I feel safe in general.
Safe. I mean, that's a pretty general question because, like, I feel safe at school, like, going through a regular routine, doing everything. Like, you don't ever really come, like, the question doesn't ever pop into your head throughout the day, like, do I really feel safe here, or do I feel like there's a possibility that I am not going home today? I mean, that's a difficult question to ask myself, but if I don't really feel protected at our school, because I think the amount of fights that happened over the previous 2 weeks, even there was no administration hopping in within the first 30 seconds. So I don't necessarily feel safe. I don't think a resource officer does everything in his power to prevent that kind of thing from happening.
I do feel safe coming here to Waukee High School, and I also take it as part of my responsibility to ensure that students feel that same way.
In your school.
I think the security guards could do a little better job of just like being a little more vigilant when they let people in and out. Mostly just because like when you go in and out of the school, they don't seem like they're paying attention very much. So if they just like a lot of times they're like reading the newspaper or like I don't know on their phone. So like it would be nice to just know that if they're paying attention, like they could see something at least, because they don't, they're not like armed or anything. But if they could at least see something, that would probably be a little bit better and a little more safer.
At your school.
I would like to see the protocol that we have in place be better communicated with the students, so that way if there was an emergency, we can also jump into action right away instead of having to rely on our teacher to tell us everything, because those moments that they are telling us things could be like precious time that we could be saving by knowing what to do by ourselves.
Let's see. I wanted to see administration step the heck up because there are a lot of aspects in school that I think they lack. And that's nothing against them. They just need to receive more feedback, maybe. And a resource officer, I've never really seen him get involved. Maybe that's just in the principal office, but he's never actually stepped in with any of those fights, which I think is pretty impractical. Overall, I think a drill would not be a terrible idea, because I think knowing certain individuals that go to our school, I'm obviously not going to name names, I'm not going to even generalize or describe a personality, but like knowing certain individuals that go to our school, I think there's a very high percentage that just like Parkland, like we have the same demographic. There are the same amount of students, Um, I think it just calculates correctly in equation to the Parkland shooting, which is really scary. And in terms of what changes, I just think we need to become more aware and understand that that could be us next. And as scary an idea or prospect that might be, I know nobody wants to go to school thinking like today might be the day, or like I might not go back home to my family. But like you got to think about that at the end of the day. But yeah, those are the kind of changes between drills administration and a resource officer. So thanks.
Safety.
I don't feel like there needs to be any changes. I like the communication that happened in advisory with the video that was made. But I think just open communication is the best thing.
See occur at Waukee. I would like to see, hopefully, a change that ensures the student's safety and not just, I don't know, what's beneficial for, or what's easiest, I guess. What is the easiest route to take? I think that it'd be better for students to actually be prepared and be safe because we are a big school. It's going to happen. Now, in college, do I feel safer? Yeah. Not because I think that my classroom's more prepared, but, I mean, I can bolt out of a classroom. Nobody's going to question me on it. I'm not locked in a room. I can run. I'm in charge of myself. I mean, I can do that. Being forced into a classroom while there's a gunman, the moment that gunman enters the classroom, I'm dead. There's no chance. Or if he's in my classroom, I'm dead. No. I'm much safer at college.
I think that the district is already making some really good changes. I think the biggest change that has to happen has to be with the students. We're just not taking things seriously. Last year we had a drill where we thought something actually might be happening, and I had students in here like, I need to leave, I need to go, I have to go pee, and just complaining about all these things. It's like, okay, but if something were actually happening, which we didn't know if something actually was or wasn't, like they thought that they had seen something, but if something were actually happening, what are you going to do? And like for me as a teacher, what am I going to do? Because I felt nervous and I felt scared and I felt like I needed to protect my students, but yet my students were sitting there opening the door for other people, or just trying to leave. Not just because like they wanted to leave to like fight for like their flight or fight instinct, but because they wanted to go do something else. So the students need to buy into this and understand that like this is serious and I'm doing my job. Like I'm doing my job and your teachers are doing your job. We don't want to just keep you in here just because.